Hi guys, today's video is gonna be a little bit different. It's about who will win between a Spinosaurus and the T-Rex, two different dinosaurs. This is a hypothetical battle. I know it's different from my other videos, but at the same time, I hope you enjoy the same way. So thank you all for supporting me, and let's get into the video. Hello guys, today we'll be discussing a very popular debate. You probably guessed it already, T-Rex versus Spinosaurus. So we'll go over the stats of each beast and, well, let's get into it. Okay, let's go on to size. Alright, well, Spinosaurus take to this one a height of 16 to 20 feet and a length of 43 feet on average, while the Rex was slightly smaller. So let's compare the different agility. Well, T-Rex had a thick tail to support balance, but not too long to be off balance like Spinosaurus out of water. The real deal is the hip bone that allows it to rotate on its leg and suddenly attack. But Spinosaurus was not built for agility. Thus, the crown goes to T-Rex. Hunting skills. Well, T-Rex ate huge hadrosaurs like a Montosaurus and some of the toughest herbivores like Ankylosaurus and Triceratops. Spinosaurus was restricted to soft-fish like Onchopristis and coelacanths like Mawsonia, including small dinos, but it didn't have the experience to hunt things that had the potential to injure it. Fighting skill. Well, T-Rex had to experience interspecies combat much more, meaning they had to fight other theropods themselves much more, and a body built for battle because of its extremely tough skull, which not only had to withstand its own bite of 7 tons, but to withstand being bitten by another Tyrannosaurus and tank the hit solely after. Take a look at the article. Sue, the most complete Tyrannosaurus rex yet found, was tough enough to survive extensive injuries during its lifetime, say paleontologists who completed the first detailed post-mortem of the whole skeleton. Well, Tyrannosaurus competed by biting each other's faces. They competed by fighting each other's faces, research suggests, gouges on the skulls of other T-Rexes. The T-Rex gets this point. Combative features. The T-Rex brings to the arena jaws literally able to crush a car at the force of 6 tons, extremely tough skull, strong structures on the head, teeth as long as a banana, a muscular leg to the flight bites, to the major blood vessels and throat, a joint in the hip adds mobility, strong legs and tail for agility. Now let's move on to the Spinosaurus and see what it's got. It's not much. Just jaws, claws, and teeth made solely for gripping. 4-1. Now for bite force. The T-Rex had the strongest bite of any dinosaur, clipping down at 5 to 7 tons of force. You saw what happened. Not about the bite. Stop! Spinosaurus bites at a force of 2 to 3 tons. Moving on to endurance and stamina. Spinosaurus' main prey were Onchopristis and Mawsonia that didn't even reach a ton. Meanwhile, T-Rex had to fight powerful hadrosaurs with devastating kicks, Triceratops with 3 front horns, and Ankylosaurus that had tough armor and a 100-pound flexible tail. Not to mention, like modern animals today, T-Rex likely had to take care of their young. Because they are weaker and need more assistance, it's likely they had the muscle to actually carry large herbivores the same way as itself. All of these feats would take time to do, and thus T-Rex gets endurance and stamina. As I showed earlier, due to the fact that T-Rex had fought each other, they would have had to battle for longer periods of time, already losing its stamina. In fact, it's likely that T-Rex actually ripped off its victims' heads in order to get its nutritious neck. Plenty of sources say this, even PaleoWar. Intelligence. Well, with some quick studies, people have figured out that T-Rex had insane intelligence, with enough effort put in and a brain scan. 5-1. physical strength. Well, Spinosaurus likely weighed between 6 and 9 tons. This will play a role on its physical strength. But on average, T-Rex could weigh up to 9.8 short tons or 8.87 metric tons. It's heavier in comparison. And it would have to hunt on stocky herbivores, which it would need a lot of muscle to do. Spinosaurus had a thinner build and vulnerable exposed spots. Well, remember, these two opponents can attack any time, leaving both of the contrasting competitors aware. To get full force, Spinosaurus needs to rotate, generating centrifugal force. However, because Spinosaurus' first priority was to grapple fish, this will take some time. In that time, Spinosaurus is vulnerable, so it would have to make quick moves, which wouldn't have too much effect on T-Rex's durable build. So he was, faster. While we may not know the exact size of the animals, we know that T-Rex has larger, more muscular legs and a larger stride, covering more distance. 7-1. Claw effectiveness. Spinosaurus have the larger arms and claws which can be used in battle, so 7-2. Ladies and gentlemen, get your popcorn ready because we're about to witness the fight simulation by me. Because of the Rex's agility, the Spinosaurus will have a hard time keeping away. Spinosaurus was the predator of lungfish, Malsonia, coelacanths, Onchopristis, sawfish, etc. Many argue Spinosaurus will finish the battle with a slash to the neck, but it wouldn't even know what a vital spot is because it never had to deliver the killer bites or slash. It will blindly attack, unlike the much smarter T-Rex, calculating what a weak spot is. Verdict. Because this Rex has more advantages, I'll have to give it to him. T-Rex simply has everything needed to counter the Spinosaurus. A 6-ton bite will instantly crush the cervical bones and the skull of a Spinosaurus, finishing it off. Spinosaurus' claws' first priority were to grapple onto fish and eat up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They could have been used for combat because they encountered Carcharodontosaurus, but this was not the main purpose of Spinosaurus claws. T-Rex skull and teeth had the number one purpose of gripping, mashing, and cutting flesh. T-Rex teeth were 12 inches long at max and were multi-purpose, much more effective in combat as well. And the T-Rex also knows just where to attack to actually do decent damage. Spinosaurus didn't hunt creatures big enough to have enough experience and actually instinct to actually know the spot of the creature, that is the weakness of the creature and the potential victory of the hunter itself. T-Rex hunted creatures its size and weight with bulky builds and potential weapons that can fatally wound any megatheropod. Examples: Ankylosaurus had tough armor and a bone-breaking tail. Triceratops had deadly horns that could impale any theropod. And Montosaurus had a deadly kick like other hadrosaurs and a thick, stocky build. Even if Spinosaurus did compete and/or hunt Crocodilomorphs and Carcharodontosaurus, its build is not convenient enough for terrestrial battles and hunting. T-Rex muscle distributed all around the body makes for great combat power for T-Rex. Spinosaurus throwing its claw at the T-Rex's skull will be too risky. It's not too hard to catch a Spinosaurus' harm, considering it's being thrown about, scratching to land a hit on the T-Rex. And T-Rex would definitely take the perfect opportunity to disarm the opponent. T-Rex doesn't have too much protruding exposed spots like the arms or the neck for Spinosaurus to clamp down on. The neck will be plenty too thick to pierce and thrash on before the T-Rex easily overpowers it. The Spinosaurus taking the classic approach with the jaw is just lending the T-Rex its head to let T-Rex decapitate it. T-Rex taking the bite approach is just another step to decapitate the Spinosaurus with a much weaker bite. Not to mention, Spinosaurus' long heron-like neck is vulnerable to the jaws of any megatheropod. T-Rex can easily crush the windpipe of the weaker pescatarian. Spinosaurus also likely relied more on intimidation. It could possibly temporarily stand on its hind legs with the help of its tail. Large claws, length, height, etc. Smarter modern animals today are typically not deterred by these tricks. After a Tyrannosaurus figures it out unexpectedly, given the fact that animals Spinosaurus coexisted with were much lower in IQ than T-Rex, Spinosaurus will have to use its own weapons, which it likely really had to for combat. However, the T-Rex brings a 6-ton bite, enhanced durability and intelligence and agility to the arena. Anyone know exactly where to strike and what to do with these weapons. Spinosaurus wasn't a fighter ready to strike an offensive kung fu pose. With full knowledge of how to kill other theropods, it was a fish-eating claw megatheropod with little knowledge on battle. This will be a different in story in water, however, where Spinosaurus is powerful as an advantage. It's like fighting someone flying. You can't breathe, it's gonna be hard to catch them and they're flying. However, because T-Rex could defend itself very effectively, as David Attenborough had said in his narration of Prehistoric Planet 2022, and considering that all dinosaurs can swim, deducted by a study, Spinosaurus still has a large fight on its hands in the water. Conclusion. Alright, let's get into this. Although some of you may have thought that the Spinosaurus dominates the fight because of that scene in Jurassic Park 3, sheer size and longer claws, the more knowledge you get, the more knowledge you give. Keep in mind this is not to offend anybody who was rooting for the Spinosaurus.